It's Friday. Are you ready for a Friday episode? I'm ready for a Friday episode. It's also the last episode before I disappear for a week again, using another week of vacation that I have at my disposal so I can spend time with my kiddos while the sun is shining. I rarely see the sun because I'm in this dark room with artificial lighting all the time. I know it looks like I've got a great tan. No, I don't have a great tan. I used to have a great tan when I used to work on a motorcycle, but that was a long time ago. And no more. It is no more. I hope you are going to have a great weekend. I hope you have lots planned, lots of fun in the sun, stuff and things that you plan on doing. Whatever it is, do it safely. Of course, drive sober, park legally, and have fun out there. I mentioned park legally in the beginning of the show today on purpose. And that's because I'll be joined momentarily by the one, the only, the parking guru, TPS _bike cart, Erin Urquhart. She's joining me in studio to answer your traffic and parking related questions. I say traffic. See, traffic's my gig, traffic law, but parking is traffic too, because without it, there'd be a lot more traffic. I don't think they get the kudos they really deserve. Anyway, we'll talk about more of that when she arrives. In the meantime, if you're watching, you're probably on one of these platforms because we're broadcasting on all of those. And I will say this now, and I'll try and remember to say it again later. If you're on Instagram, you may get missed. Not because I'm trying to ignore you, but because I get into things. And Instagram is on a channel. It's on its own page over there. Thin White Line Interceptor. I see you there. How you doing, Ryan? I tend to ignore Instagram because it's over there on its own little screen. And I can't put you on screen and make it all fancy. So if you're watching there, please come over to YouTube. It's better there. Come over to Facebook. Follow us on all the channels. You can go to TrafficCop.ca. You can find all our channels there and connect and guarantee you actually get seen. I will tell you this. There are fewer viewers on YouTube, which means you're probably going to increase your odds of being seen a lot. Now, we have a lot of viewers that come in through X. And if you didn't already know this, X is connected to the whole system, and you can actually put stuff and things on screen. You know, when ASKaTrafficCop comes in on YouTube and says greetings and salutations, look, I put it on screen, and it's like he's here. Yeah. By the way, how's it going, ASKaTrafficCop? Thanks for being my example. When I see Evandro come in through LinkedIn, boom, there he is. Good morning, Evandro. Greg says good morning on TikTok. It all works, but you'll notice that there is no Instagram, but there is a Twitch. Good morning to the Grinch. It's a thing. So if you think I'm hard selling the concept of coming over to a platform that supports easy integration and my ability to put you on screen, I am. But if you insist on being over there, I'll do my very best to pay attention. I make no guarantees. All right. What can I tell you? First things first, we talked about the platforms we're on. The fact that we download the episode, put it back up on Spotify, which then shares it to a whole bunch of different podcasting apps, including Apple Podcasts and iHeart Podcasts. Wherever you want to listen, it's good. Synchronize the whole library. When you're really bored, you can hear things that some people find boring, but I like because I'm a traffic geek. But if you want to learn about stuff and listen in, maybe you drop a question in, but you got to go. Well, we're probably going to answer it, but it may not be till later in the show. And if you can't wait, what better way than to ensure you don't break the law while you're listening in your car and you don't waste your data, because data is precious. At least it used to be. It used to really, really be precious. Like I remember plans that were they a meg? Am I making that up? Plans were a meg at one point, and now a gig is not enough data. In fact, I think I have 80 gigs. There are people with unlimited data. Unlimited data sounds like a really good thing. Anyway, that's what I got to say. That's the message. Follow us everywhere. And if you're on Apple Podcasts and you're one of the listeners who's there, and there's a bunch of you who are, please leave a review. It would be great to get reviews. Positive reviews apparently help us get seen. And if you're watching, actually on whatever platform you're watching us on live, please follow us. Please like and subscribe. It really does make a difference for the algorithm to suggest us to other folks. And that's a nice thing to do. If you want to feel good about things, do that. Let's get into the things because I'm going down rabbit holes galore. Tim Shallow, good morning. He says, good morning, Sean. Happy Friday to everyone, and good morning, Erin, who's not yet here, but not in the room because you see her there. We've got Northern Pike who says, good morning, Sean and beautiful world. It is a beautiful world, isn't it? It's going through some tough times, but it's a beautiful world. We already covered Kayla's good morning, and apparently a happy anniversary is required because it's Kayla's 16th wedding anniversary. Congratulations to you and Mrs. DeCronis. Paul says, good morning, Sean. Happy Friday all. And we got Northern Pike with some congratulations to Kayla. I got a dad joke or three dad jokes. And Julie Massey, who says, good morning and happy Friday to the two dedicated people and to all out there. I'll note that only one person's really did not. I knew this was planned, not so much planned, but aware. I was aware that that Erin would be a few minutes behind, but she's dealing with stuff and things. Okay, I got a quote for later. We talked to the Grinch already. Kayla says, see you at the Indy with my gifts and my son. Kayla wants his son to join the Toronto Police Service. And but Kayla, don't bring more spam. The spam is still good. It's not even expired yet. This is just a reminder to all those. Please don't spam the chat. Ask your question once. We'll do our best to respond. But asking it a dozen times really makes us less interested in answering it. Just saying. We got, let's see here. Did we mention Greg? Because Greg said good morning. And the Grinch says, come to where the Twitch is. Where the Twitch is at. Come to Twitch is where it's at. There we go. Emma says, happy Friday. I'm shifting over because the door opened and then it closed again. And now inside studio is the one, the only Erin Urquhart. The one I so fondly refer to as the parking guru. And I'm sitting. For the longest time, this was a standing show, and I like it as a standing show. But sitting makes it a little bit easier, just a little bit. No, that's not what I want.
Sorry, wrong button.
Wrong button? Okay, we'll let it go. Let's see here. We got Jesse Connell Forces, good morning. Good morning to you. John says, love your show. Thank you very much, John. Much appreciated. We have a lot of folks who don't like the show. They voice it out a lot because they don't like being told about laws. They think that the laws are silly. But we like the show, and we like providing the good information to those who are watching and want to avoid tickets and be safer by following the rules. But and John says, I love the show, and then I go into a whole tirade about stuff and things. But so many people think that we're out here just to make money by giving tickets, and it couldn't be the farthest thing. Couldn't be farther from the truth. That's the saying. Do you get commission on parking?
No.
Oh, we got to turn your microphone on.
I am not on mic. There we go.
You are now on mic.
No, contrary to the popular belief, no, we don't get any commission for our tickets. We are very much salary based. We get paid.
How much better would your life be if you actually got commission?
Oh my gosh, I'd be. I don't think I'd be working in this job anymore.
You would have already retired.
I would have been fine. Yeah, I would have been good. But yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no. But if you'd like to suggest that we get commission, by all means, send your messages to the chief. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Make you taller. Okay. We've got Lenore Terry says, good morning from Muskoka. Muskoka sounds like such a nice place to be. I'm going to a cottage this weekend, not in Muskoka, but I am going to visit a friend of the cottage, and I'm very much looking forward to that because there's water in the cottage.
Nice.
They have water. Oddly enough, not every cottage has water. Muskoka is a wonderful place. I have a memory of the Nutty Chocolatier. Is that still there in the wonderful little town there? Is this still a little town?
I haven't been to I don't even know if I've been to Muskoka before. If I have, it was a very long time ago.
It's been a long time for me, but it's lovely. I do remember also black flies, but that's another thing. Michael says, good Friday. I'm not in usual place. Michael Harlan, where are you? I'm not Jose Monkey. I don't find you, even if you ask, but I'm curious. Because yesterday we had we had Chase, who was flying over Canada on his way
Okay.
to, I think he was going to Edmonton, and on his way he tuned in.
Oh,
Oh,
get,
you can do that while you're flying now.
yeah, you can buy Wi-Fi on some planes.
Wild.
Yeah.
Gurk, I'm not going to try. I'm going to try. Is that Gurka Sandu? It says, how are you? I'm doing well. Thanks very much for asking. Actually, I'm doing really, really well, primarily based on the fact that it's Friday, coupled with the fact that I'm on vacation next week. I'm pretty excited.
I'm jealous. Well, I can't be too jealous. I have a week coming up in 2 weeks.
Well, as it works out, I'm no longer, like last year I went on a bunch of big event. I went on 2 cruises. I traveled. I spent all the money. Money's gone. So now these are staycations, and really it just means I'm working at home instead of working here. Tidying up, doing things, spending time with the kids, going, to the park, but I've never taken vacation in the summer.
Oh.
So this is new for me. I'm usually vacation in the winter.
Yeah.
And since I'm staying, I want to take advantage of the good weather as opposed to running away to get to,
Yeah, it's been really nice out.
Yes.
Hot today.
I was barbecuing. It was really, really hot. Good morning from Devil. Devil.
Good morning.
I'm horrible at pronouncing some things. I try my best. I make a mess out of most of them. But tell me if that. How do you want to be pronounced? Okay. We're jumping into some questions because it's that thing. Hey, radar detectors illegal in Ontario or not? If so, what's the penalty? So they're definitely illegal. They're illegal to purchase. They're illegal to sell. They're illegal to transport. They're illegal to use. Oddly enough, they're illegal. If we suspect that you have one, we have the lawful authority to search your vehicle and remove it because we seize it, and then we charge you with the $170 fine, and it comes with a 2 demerit point on conviction. But oddly enough, some of these devices are $500, $600, $700, maybe more, and losing that device hurts a lot too. What people usually freak out about is say, well, one second, some of them are made in Ontario. Bell is in Ontario, and they manufacture them here, at least the ones that they make, and they're exported, but they have a special portion of the law that's misunderstood by most people who read it. There's a belief that you can transport it in the original packaging, but the reality is a seller, the manufacturer, can transport it in its original packaging through a shipping company, not in your personal vehicle, and it can only go to the consignee, which is to the person you're sending it to out of province. So there you go.
Interesting.
Little things. We got a Rodney Dangerfield joke from Michael Harling later. We'll read that later. Oh my goodness, Chef Mark has a 200. How do you have 260 gigs of data? That's amazing. Is that like you pool a whole? I was talking about data and the fact that it used to be like 1 megabyte. And then
Yeah, I know. And then you get overcharged, and your phone bill would be through the roof. And yeah,
how about this
those
one?
days are gone.
When's the last time you spent money on the long distance?
Gosh, good question.
Well, the funny thing is, as we completely go off topic,
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend out of the country. They were in Italy or in France at the time, and a friend of mine called. I said, "Listen, I can't talk. I'm talking long distance."
Yeah.
And I went back to the other line, and when I came back to him afterwards, he says, that's not a thing anymore, right? And I realized I was on FaceTime audio. I was not paying long distance. It's just, let me just call you in France later. Just go do whatever you're doing or whatever time zone you're in. Whatever. Okay, moving on. Greg says, or asks, is it illegal to cross the white double lines when changing from HOV to the normal driving lane? Well, normally, when you talk about the lines, double or single, I say that's not illegal because although not recommended, solid lines suggest you don't cross them. There's no fine or charge associated with them. However, you talked about HOV, and HOV are unique in that there are signs, regulated signs, and those signs specifically talk about those lines, and it is against the law to cross over those. So you have to wait until the hashed lines to cross legally in or out of the HOV. It takes planning. When people cross willy-nilly in and out of that, it really does cause some issues, high-risk issues, usually because there's speed differential. People are going way too fast in the HOV lanes, and they come across slower-moving traffic, and they expect it in the dotted area. They do not expect it when it's solid lines, and people go boom. they whoosh,
Yeah.
bad things happen.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is good. I love it when questions come in. Hey, if you're
Mm-hmm.
watching on Instagram, I see that you're here from it's Matt Lack Cole says, I'm here from Kirkland Lake, Ontario. Welcome. I'm trying not to ignore you, but you're over there in Instagram land, and if you want to be over there with everybody else, you should come over to YouTube. YouTube.TrafficCop.ca will take you right to our YouTube channel. Of course, if you're on any of the other ones except for Instagram, you can ask us questions. X works too. So a whole bunch of people. Where's everybody else? Where's the majority of people? You have 86 people coming in by way of your Twitter.
Oh,
Your ex.
awesome. That was the only account I could link.
Well, there you go. Well, you have a lot of followers who are watching live right now.
Well,
Anything
hi,
you want to say?
everyone on Twitter.
Everybody.
Or X. Sorry.
Yes.
It's always going to be Twitter to me. I'm sorry. Just like the Sky Dome is always going to be the Sky Dome.
Well, it's so funny. I remember naming the Sky Dome. Like I didn't name it myself, but I remember the contest. I remember the contest.
Oh, there was an actual contest.
Yeah, it was at. I remember going to the Eaton Center in front. It was in front of Eaton's. Is Eaton's the store at the very north of the building? Is that Eaton's?
It used to be.
It's not Eaton's anymore?
Oh, Eaton's is
Does
long
Eaton not exist?
gone.
Can you tell I don't shop? I order things on Amazon.
It was like a Nordstrom for a while, and now like that's, I don't know if that's gone. I think those are all gone out of Canada. I used to go to Eaton Center all the time, especially when I used to have all day court on Center Avenue,
yes.
because we would get like a pretty long lunch hour. So I was always,
Well,
I always spent money when I had court because I would always go to the
funny
mall.
how that works.
Yeah.
I used to work across the street. I used to work at Old City Hall as a court supervisor.
Okay,
And that was where we all went to grab food, actually.
Yeah.
And just a shout out to my fam from Old City Hall, the ones in the cells, working the cells, as opposed to the ones behind the cells, in the cells. Yeah, great memories of working there. Fantastic people. So that now I think they're still running it as a courthouse temporarily. There's a big courthouse now. Everything's changed since I left, but I don't go to the mall anymore. I have no reason to. And what they did was, the whole reason I started talking about the mall was that they had people standing in the sky. Yeah, they were taking it right down your name, and if you win, you get like free stuff. I think I got a hat. I don't know. I didn't win, but I got a hat for like wasting ink on paper. Okay. Hey Sean, my dad recently got a ticket for his headlights being too bright, but the car came with them. Interesting. What was the ticket for the too brightness? What was the charge? Like improper headlight? Well, obviously you have a defense if that's factory lighting. There's a charge for fail to use lower beam, but if that was not the low beam, if you were in the low beam and they're just high density, high intensity LED, you've got a defense. Sadly, you're being wasted. Your time's being wasted in court going there. If those are factory lights truly from factory, they're approved. They just happen to be very bright, and the officer.
Sorry, I'm just going to move.
Yeah, move it. Do you want
legs
water? I have a case of water.
If I get thirsty, but I have my iced coffee.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's like the green room under my desk. I have a case of water in case somebody needs a little sippity sip. So yeah, in terms of that, if it's truly factory, it's approved for use in Ontario. You'd have a defense there. I don't know what Chef Mark is talking about to Greg. What did Greg say? I don't see Greg's comment. Okay. CSR says hello. Greg says to Chef Mark, make me a hot dog. If I was a genie, I'd say, you're a hot dog. Okay. We got a thank you from Mrs. Draconis. It's Akela's wedding. Akela and Mrs. Akela, their wedding anniversary today.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Tracy says, good morning.
Hey, Tracy.
And we have Chris. Hi, do we need stickers for our license plates? Super important to know, please. And the answer is, where have you been?
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've needed license plates, except for commercial motor vehicles and snowmobiles, much to the chagrin of the sergeant.
If Sergeant was here, yes.
Yes, he would be steaming over that. But the deal is that you don't need license plate stickers because the renewal is now done electronically, and as of July 1st, automatically.
Yeah, I was going to say I just read about that.
Assuming, of course, that you don't have any issues like unpaid fines, because then it wouldn't be. And now I've got to create a video. Maybe I'll do that after the show. Create a video educating people about the changes, because I did finally get an all chiefs memo which explains it. And yeah, I'll be able to give you the ins and outs, the details as to exactly what to expect. But essentially, you could go on to the system. You can go to TrafficCop.ca. The links to the system are there. You could renew, because if you're within 90 days of renewal, it won't automatically do it. Like now that the system's come in, my understanding is within 90 days it won't do it. So you need to manually do it. And again, no sticker will be issued, but you do it online. Print out a receipt of having done it, and then it's done. Pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Let's see here. Pivotal Thoughts. I like that name. And good morning, Sean. And Erin, too. Mind you, this was at 10:10. You may not have been in the room, Erin.
Yeah, I was probably just walking in.
Yes, and speaking of which, it takes some time to get through the questions because we blah, blah, blah. And it's not instantaneous. It's not the rapid thing. It's a slow roll, especially because it's Friday. And as Chris says, is it Christor? Okay, moving on. By the way, happy Friday. Yes, it is a magical day. Another dad joke. Oh, and thank you very much. I forgot that we have a moderator today. I'm like, I don't remember flagging the dad joke, but I thought I was really, really efficient. Thank you to the moderator who's helping along and flagging stuff. Original speed or reduced speed to fight? This is a good question. I don't think anyone's ever asked us this. Not in this way. Not exactly.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what do you mean, what?
So if you get a speeding ticket,
speed to fight.
Yeah. So when you get a speeding ticket, let's say you're doing 100,
okay,
in an 80,
okay,
and I say I'm going to be real nice to you. I'm going to reduce it to 50 and over because there's no demerit points. If you pay it, no demerit points.
okay.
When you take it to court, is it the original speed or the reduced speed? And it could be both. See, we mark our evidence of what you actually did. The system automatically flags it as a reduced ticket, so the prosecutor sees that it was reduced. That's the R on your ticket. And when we go to court, probably not for a 5-kilometer reduction, but we can certainly speak to the Crown and say, you know what, we gave this person a break. Now that they're fighting it, we'd like to put it back to the original speed. So that can be done with permission of the justice of the peace or judge of the bench. You can apply to do that. Generally, it's something like, I remember, and it's sort of my story of why I don't give breaks or stop giving breaks. And it was a woman who was doing 95 and a 40, I think it was, whatever it was. They were stunt driving, and I reduced it by 1 kilometer so she wouldn't lose her car. It was like her second day of work. She was crying. I've never seen so much mascara on someone's face. She ugly cried like nobody's business, and I bought it, and I think it was legit. But then I went to court, and they had hired an agent to fight the ticket that I had already saved her like $5,000 or $3,000, whatever, $2,000. Not to mention the fact that the consequences, like I gave them a big gift because I was a big sucker who fell for the crocodile tears. But I wouldn't do that again. Like you're stunt driving. You're stunt driving. There should be no reduction. Anyway, in that situation, I would fight to have the original put back up. Michael Harling says, "Good parking guru." And what do we have here?
Good parking guru to you, too.
Well, you are the parking guru. Let's see here. School bus question. By the way, parking questions, really good opportunity to ask your parking questions, just because parking answers are here and not always here. Evandro says, ask a school bus on the opposite side of the intersection and on the opposite side of the street. You're about to turn left before the bus. Can you turn left, or no movement in any direction is authorized for the reason of the school bus? So this is actually a very good question. It really confuses a lot of people, so thank you, Evandro, for asking it. If you have the rules are you can't pass the school bus. I'd suggest using caution, but you wouldn't be prevented from completing your turn if you're not passing the school bus. The whole idea is you can't pass in either direction if it's what is the word I'm looking for? The heck's my English just zapped out of my brain.
Unauthorized?
No, it's undivided. Divided. Sorry. If it's an undivided highway, so it's painted line north and south. Otherwise, that's the only division between the directions of traffic. Undivided highway. Everybody's got to stop. Cannot pass the school bus. But if you're able to turn before the school bus, you're not prevented from doing that. And look at this, a question from your viewers specifically. See, it says here paired, which means it's yours. When y'all hiring for ticket officer?
Well, we just had a job call out for the month of June, so unfortunately you just missed it. But I do believe we will be hiring another class, but I'm not sure when. It might be before the end of the year, might not be. So just keep your eye out on the tps.ca/careers website and also the TPS recruiting. They are going to be the ones on social media who post when we are actively hiring. So yep, go to the website and it'll give you all the information of all the requirements. And I don't know if you want to put it up there, the website. Well,
We
you
can
will
certainly
later.
do that.
Yeah. Anyways,
Do we
yeah.
do? Let's do things out of order. Here's where you go. We'll do it out of order because I was going to talk about this in a little later, but it's 10:30, so I might as well talk about it now.
Okay.
TPS.ca/careers is the website. That is where you get to learn everything you ever wanted to know about becoming a member of the Toronto Police Service in any particular capacity that works for you. Now, I'll share the screen when you go to that website. That's what you're going to see. Oddly enough, you're going to see Erin smiling off camera. Weird. I don't know where'd they have you look when they took that picture.
I don't know. I forget. That was like 2 years ago.
2 years.
Maybe 2 years ago. Yeah.
Everyone was so happy.
Yeah.
What were you looking at?
I think we were looking like I think there was someone who was just like looked to the side and we
Did they
all
have like a
just,
squeaky toy?
No, but we did have someone who like set us all up because like we're all arranged by height and everything, as you can see.
Okay, that works. And now we're gonna slide down and
Yeah.
cut you off. There we go. We'll leave your chins. Okay, not your like there was multiple chins. I'm not saying you have chins. Anyway, moving on. Police constable. If you're interested in a job as a police officer, all the information is here. And I actually have to make a video of this later because someone asked, what is the starting salary of a police officer in Toronto? Although things constantly change and things go up and down. Well, they don't go down; they go up and up. But yeah, you can find that out there. Special constable, not currently hiring that I'm aware of, but a great position. That's how I started as a court officer. Parking enforcement officer, we said we're not hiring right now. We just missed the opportunity, but keep checking on a regular basis. But where do you check? Check under civilian roles. No, I pressed the wrong button.
Oh.
Check under civilian roles. Communication operator is one of the roles that's currently listed. And here, there's 5 jobs listed. This is where you go and actually you can access and apply for things. So internal communications coordinator, firearms processing examiner, I don't know how I said the first time, talent acquisition advisor, communications operator, and developer in the digital team. This one must be hard to fill because it's been here for a while. Communications operator, they've been hiring a lot because we need a lot. It's a very specialized job. It's a very difficult one to, I think, pass all the training.
Yeah.
I think they've got like 50% of the people that apply don't get through.
It's
But
tough
like the
job.
training, you get hired, but they don't make it to the next
Yeah.
stage
Oh wow.
because it's just that tough. And that may or not be accurate, but that's my understanding. Talent acquisition advisor, that's where you actually get hired to then hire people.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. These jobs all have postings, start and end date. So here's the start date, July 4th. It was posted. It was yesterday, and it ends on the 17th. So what happens when they're gone? They're gone. Like your opportunity dries up until the next time they post it, if they ever post it again. So things to be thoughtful of. You know what else I didn't do today? I forgot to mention Vision Zero enforcement team, those magical people who go out and change lives. They change lives by way of changing behavior. And hopefully by writing someone a ticket, they change the behavior so much that they save lives. People think that tickets are about money, about being big old meanies in uniform, or sometimes just making the traffic flow. But the truth is, we're talking about the big 4. We're talking about those activities, those behaviors that drivers most often exhibit, like speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. And those things, those particular ones, are the ones that are most often associated with serious injury and death. And I love it. People get into my comments section and they say the dumbest stuff, like, "Oh, police are so dumb. They think speed kills." And I'm like, yeah. Wow, that's dumb.
Yeah.
No, speed actually does kill, and I find it very entertaining when they get up and troll, but in trolling they say just like there's an old adage that says better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and erase all doubt, and that's what they do in the comments. So I have a lot of fun reading those comments because I need entertainment too, don't you know? So Radek says good morning, and then we got a thank you from Evandro says, thank you for your service. Thank you for the videos you're doing for parking enforcement. I learned a lot with you too. Evandro, and I keep saying this, so some of you know this already. Evandro is an auxiliary officer with the Peel Regional Police now. I actually went to his graduation.
Oh, good
He
for
was
him.
a follower, a viewer on the channel. We inspired him to want to become a police officer.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
And he does not speed. His wife has told me so. Does not speed. Annoying as it is to her, he does not speed. And his ultimate goal is to work as a police officer in the traffic unit,
Wow.
whether it be at Peel or Toronto. I think you should come to Toronto. Just saying. Recruiting, if you're watching, Evandro, keep an eye out. Application forthcoming. Yeah. Let's see here. Does the ticket? What says? Good morning. Does the ticket for tints increase car insurance? What do you think? Do we have a? We don't have a. It's not the right sound.
I'm gonna say yes. I don't know.
So here's a funny thing.
I've never heard of this question.
Well, it's a really good question because people often think that points are what matters for insurance.
Okay.
And they go, no points, no big deal.
Yeah.
But the truth is, any conviction, even leaving your driver's license at home and failing to surrender it, can actually work against you and your insurance rates. Your insurance company is a private organization. They determine your risk to the company based on whatever calculation they choose. If it says, if you wear green socks, we don't want to insure you, that's up to them. And one of the things they calculate is whether or not you follow rules, any rules. So any conviction, although that is a minor one, would potentially increase or could work to increase your rates. So, yeah, sad day for anyone who's breaking the law. Your insurance might go up. Okay. Good morning. Is it true that when driving on the highway, only OPP can pull you over? What an interesting story or question. The answer is no, it is not true. Any police officer in the province of Ontario has the authority to stop and charge people for criminal offenses. And in the way it works for Highway Traffic Act, it is specifically the jurisdiction you're in and the neighboring jurisdiction. Otherwise, we'd phone a friend. We can stop you. We have the authority to stop you. We could write a ticket or at least have the local officer write a ticket based on our evidence, but we wouldn't, like if we were in, I don't know, we're somewhere far away.
Antarctica.
I was going to say within Ontario. Let's go with that.
Within Ontario?
Yeah.
Thunder Bay?
Thunder Bay. Yeah, we're not writing tickets in Thunder Bay, but we could be in Thunder Bay. We can arrest you in Thunder Bay. We'd even stop you in Thunder Bay, but we're not going to actually issue a ticket in Thunder Bay. Let's see here. We talked about this. I'm just going through because we have a magical moderator today, and they've done the work to actually do an amazing job of flagging a bunch of stuff that I've totally ignored. So now we're just going to go back and check a bunch of these. And that's the last question there. Oh, we're actually doing well. Okay. What would is park?
Antarctica.
It's fantastic. Oh, don't get me started with these videos where people are like, name 3 countries, and they're like, then they start naming continents.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Radek says, what would be the offense for parking a motorcycle on a sidewalk?
The offense would be parking a motorized vehicle on a sidewalk because, motorcycles are not exempt for parking on a sidewalk. They can park on a private property boulevard as long as they're authorized by the property owner. But, they can still get a $150 ticket for parking on the sidewalk. Yeah. So, and there's no excuse because motorcycles get free street parking in Toronto in the metered areas where it's, you have to pay for parking.
So many people confuse the metered areas of Green P with the parking lots of Green P, and they do not get parking for free there.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we've confirmed that because I feel like I was unsure about that for the actual Green P lots that they actually have to pay.
Street parking only. And that as a motorcycle guy telling you, street only. Good morning. Why don't you use e-bikes? It will allow you to cover a much broader area faster. That is a very good question.
I get this every day. Every time I post a biking patrol video, people are like, why aren't you on an e-bike? Well, I've explained it. It would be fun. It would be. But personally, it's not functional for what we do as parking enforcement officers because we're doing a lot of stop and going, we're a lot of slow riding, getting on and off our bikes to check, license plates, check receipts, looking at signs, and e-bikes can go pretty fast. So it would be great for, destination riding if I'm going from one end of the city to the next. But a lot of us, most parking officers within the city in the downtown core, were assigned a little box within a division. So most divisions are broken up into zones, and officers will be given, like I said, just a little area. So there's no need for the e-bikes to cover those broader areas because they have officers in all those areas.
I could see a day where we get it. Like if it doesn't change, if it doesn't change the way the bike operates, if it's a true pedelec, like a Bosch or a Yamaha system, or if it's like, I got an email, DJI, the people who make drones are now making transmissions for e-bikes. Like they're a wild and amazing company. They're like the Apple of everything else, because they make cameras, they make flying cameras, they make gimbals.
They're really great.
Now
e-bikes. I love their products.
Well, so I think the biggest reason we don't do it is one, cost.
Yeah, money.
We don't lock them up anywhere. Like we don't lock our police bikes. We put them down. They occasionally get stolen.
No. Well, we do have locks as parking officers now.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool. The other thing is that there's now maintenance warranty. There's a new level of maintenance. Like we have mechanics here; they service those bikes. If we have e-bikes now, it's just something else to break.
Yeah, and like those in the winter and stuff, like those batteries they can get wet, probably not functional. I don't know. To me personally, I just don't think they're functional. I have rode e-bikes in my personal time. They're so much fun. Even the bike share e-bikes actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sometimes I pick one of those up from here around work if my fiance takes the bike home or whatnot.
Leaves you to figure it out.
Because, traffic in this city can be a bit of a headache, especially around Liberty Village when there's tons of summer events going on.
I want to invest in a helicopter to get home. I'm tired of driving in traffic. Toronto traffic is suboptimal.
We're in the center of where all the Gardner lane reductions are and construction. But anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting about that.
Oh my God. Yeah. We drive in this too. It is so much fun. What do parking enforcement officers drive around town?
Oh, this is a good question too, because we are actually in the midst of upgrading most of our vehicles from the old rundown little Ford Focuses and Ford Escape. Well, sorry, we're still getting the new Escapes, but they're mostly hybrid vehicles. So hybrid, electric, gas, and they're very nice actually, and they're super quiet. They make the same
hybrid ones. Have you taken them out?
Oh yeah, I've rode the I've driven one of the brand new ones before.
We have plug-in hybrids we're testing.
Oh
well,
yeah.
You're testing them.
Or we have a bunch of them. Yeah.
So that's what you've taken out and you think is really cool, or is it something else?
The SUVs. Yeah, the SUVs. And I think some of the supervisors or most of the supervisors, they'll drive a van, and those have been switched over, I guess, from the Dodges to the new Chrysler ones that I think that are also hybrid or electric. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
I tend not to leave the office. It's just easier.
Police have a ton of different vehicles that they drive. Their fleet is.
It's fleeting.
Yeah.
Just an ask for anyone watching. If you are not already following us on whatever platform you're watching, please follow us. If you'd like to check us out on another platform, please do that. You can go to all of our links by going to TrafficCop.ca, and on that same page, there's a ton of useful links and information. If you are watching on TikTok in particular, please tap that screen until your fingers go numb and say that you love us. Even if you only like us, it's not really a long-term commitment. Just tap the screen. It helps us out. It tells more people that we are here trying to help, and more people will watch us, and that's just good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ryan, the Thin White Line Interceptor, says, and thank you for the Q. Q being, it's a question, and I know it's not banter. Happy Friday, Erin and Sean. Question for Erin: have you ever had any close calls with drivers not paying attention while you were writing a ticket at the side of the road?
Yes. And I would say it were drivers that were paying attention and were intentionally, passing me very, very, very closely to scare me, which actually I do recall that happened once. And I caught up to it was a truck driver, and it was on Bloor Street. And I actually called for a police unit because I caught up to them at the green light, and I said something to them. I said, "Why are you putting my life at risk when I'm just out here doing my job? You were just driving by. minding your business. You could have just continued doing that. And the driver continued to spit at me through the window. So yeah,
there's
that's
a
when
lot,
I called the police.
There are a lot of people that feel like it's okay to assault people wearing your uniform.
Yeah,
They're
and
less
sadly they got away.
they're less likely or inclined to spit or attack police officers. I don't know why, but they tend to be much more polite to the police officers, and they really take advantage and are assaulted. But we are very serious about finding and charging those people who assault our members. We had a question of where are we? What city is this? And then they responded before I had a chance to say. They said OTO. I'm in BC outside of Vancouver. Hello, Vancouver. Just a thing. Where is everybody today? Because we have international viewers. We have had people in Germany. Actually, we've had people from all over the world. I think Australia might be the farthest, maybe possibly,
cool.
that has shouted out to say that they're watching and enjoying. So very cool. Let's see here. We've got what do we got here? We got Tracy has a cottage in Muskoka. Very nice. Apparently, Chase has been watching other podcasts. I feel cheated on. WRPS has a podcast called Into the Blue, 6 episodes launching soon. I'm interested to know what that's going to look like. And Michael says today he's on Facebook, not YouTube. Well, I knew he was on Facebook, but it makes sense. Scopes wants to know if plate cover tint tickets increase. We talked about that already. Oh, no, we didn't. It wasn't their question. Does plate cover tint tickets increase and or void insurance? So voiding insurance, technically speaking, if you modify your vehicle, it could. Like I've heard of people with custom exhaust systems being denied claims because they never notified the insurance company, and that would have changed the bracket, and it's now a performance vehicle. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff there to unpack. But generally speaking, the insurance rate could go up, but will it void the insurance? Probably not. I just wouldn't break the law and expect your insurance company to like it. Just saying. Let's see here. We're going to do that. We're going to see what is. This is from Zuzu. Hi, what is the law on dogs being in the car while driving? Being in the car, I'm sure is what you meant. They can be in the car. They cannot be on the driver or interfering at all with the driver. Many, many people that I see, and I'm sure you see even more of it because you're on the road so much more. How often do you see people with dogs in their lap while they're driving, dogs on the steering wheel, just checking things out, across the front of the dash, in the window view, cats hanging out.
Cats. Oh, gosh.
I'm hearing
my
cats now.
need to be like confined in a car because they don't do well in car rides. But I have seen it, especially with like the smaller dogs. Me personally, I have a bigger sized dog. He's always either in like the very back
of the SUV.
of the hatchback or in the back seat, and we have like a netting thing because I can't stand him bothering me when I'm driving.
And it's illegal.
And
so you can get charged for careless driving. You can get charged for drive while crowded. If they're lounging in the sun across the driver's view over the steering wheel area between that would be.
I've seen cats on like the dash,
and that's
like,
driver's view obstructed. So all sorts of bad ideas, and of course they're bad ideas because they're bad, and we've witnessed them, nearly all of them. Animals should be crated or at least tethered in the back seat for their safety and yours. What is the charge for pickup truck overloaded? Depends if we're talking by weight or if you're talking by the fact that the load is not secured properly. There's a ton of different charges that could go depending on. So what is it specifically? Are you saying overweight, where you're because then there's a charge for being overweight, and it's not the charge for my kind of overweight. I just add an extra cheeseburger now and again, and it's a different thing. Okay, bad joke. Let's see here. How old do you need to be to drink and drive in Canada? I've heard 22 and 25. Well, drinking and driving, it's kind of being part of a slogan. It's a thing you're not supposed to do. The deal is that until you are 22 with a full G license, you're not allowed to have more than 0 BAC. So this is 0 blood alcohol content until you're 22 with a full G license or M license for the motorcycle. If you're under 22, you are not permitted to have more than 0. But you're not allowed to have, regardless of your age and your license status, you're not allowed to have, well, let me rephrase. If you are a learner, you can't have any. 0, zilch, none. If you're a commercial motor vehicle operator driving a commercial motor vehicle, 0, zilch, none. If you are allowed to have more than 0, you're still limited to 0.049, which is what the Ontario legal limit is to operate a motor vehicle, assuming you're not impaired at the time, because impairment and the amount of alcohol you have in your system are not necessarily the same thing. You can have a legal limit and be acting like you're blitzed. You could also have drugs in combination to really amplify some of those behaviors. Anyway, 0.049 would be where you wouldn't get a charge or you wouldn't be suspended for a warrant. Because if you have 0.05 to 0.079, that is the range called the warrant range. That's where you get a 3-day suspension, 7-day, or I think 10-day if it's the third time and within 10 years. However, if you're 0.08 and above, you're going to be arrested for having more alcohol, 80 and above. Blood alcohol content, which is a criminal offense. Not an offense on a bicycle, though. I was going to say motorcycle. No, it is an offense on a motorcycle. It's also an offense on an e-bike.
Oh.
E-bikes, although classified or treated as bicycles, if they're compliant with the law, they're not capable of going more than 32 kilometers an hour. They are, for the purposes of the criminal code, motor vehicles. Regardless of whether or not they're capable of going more or not.
Oh, well, that's good. Good to know.
Yeah. Electric skateboards, motor vehicles under the criminal code. One wheels.
Yeah, I was going to say, those can go really fast.
I have a video of one going on the 427.
My God.
It's not it's super, super not smart.
No, don't do that.
No. Oh, we have a parking question.
Yeah,
Hey, I was parked in no parking zone during an Uber delivery. I had notice on windshield. They gave me a ticket. I know the answer to this because you taught me, but I'll let you take the wheel.
Well, it would. I would have to see exactly where you got the ticket and the circumstances surrounding it.
But I've got to guess. I'm guessing they were like on a main street.
There you go. So yeah, if you were on a main arterial road such as Yonge Street, Queen Street, Dundas, anything that is like has a rush hour route on either side of the street, just because it's a no parking zone, you cannot do deliveries on an arterial road such as Yonge Street, Bloor Street, Dundas, Queen, all of the arterial roads. So again, I would have to see where your ticket was issued, but yeah, not all no parking areas are meant for
deliveries. Side streets. Think about it. You can't interfere
Yeah.
with traffic just because you're on a delivery. Carol and Fox, I believe you were here yesterday and asked the identical question, and I answered it yesterday. And if you went back and listened to the answer on yesterday's episode, which you can do on YouTube, and you're coming through YouTube, you'd see that I answered you. That said, you're here now. Hopefully you're still here, because some people drop questions, take off, and then come back the next day to ask them again. But the answer is a police officer on or off duty is a police officer 24/7, regardless if they have kids in the back of the car or not. Would I pull someone over when I have my children in the car to put them at risk? In an extreme situation where it's life and death, I've stopped for collisions. A woman got hit by a car while I was en route picking up my daughter from, daycare. Yeah, there's times when I've stopped and I've acted in the role, and things happen. Would I get into a pursuit? No. I'm not armed. I'm not in uniform. How do you even know that I'm a police officer? But I have pulled people over in my personal vehicle because they were doing something incredibly dangerous, and it was a safe situation where I was able to educate them and send them on their way. The most recent was when I saw someone who had a child not in a child seat.
Oh, geez.
That was bad. And it was a very nice conversation. No charges were laid, but it was important. But my kids were not with me. I really think I wouldn't do it with my kids in the car. But could we? Is it lawful? I'm a police officer. It's lawful. Is it illegal to park in a no standing zone with a permit? Do you mean a permit like a accessible permit? Do you mean a permit like a parking? What kind of permit?
I'm assuming they're going with an accessible permit. If you're talking about a street permit, or because there's multiple kinds of permits.
I'm going to assume for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about a no standing zone and a accessible pass for the vehicle.
Okay, so there are actually no standing accessible loading zones where you actually need the permit to go in those spaces. It has the wheelchair
But that's
logo.
a loading zone, not a parking zone.
Exactly. And it's a no standing zone meant for, you're supposed to just pull in, pick up, drop off. You get 15 minutes in those zones to load persons with the permit or permit holders. But a regular no standing zone, it's no, you're not exempt. It's the same rules as any other vehicle. You are able to pull up, stop momentarily to pick up or discharge passengers immediately. Yeah. You can't park there with your permit. You can still get a $100 ticket, or if it's a no standing transit stop, it's a $150 ticket. And those transit zones are within any TTC stop within 50 meters. So whether it's a bus stop, streetcar stop, TTC wheel trans stop, those are all no standing transit stops.
Yeah, the only special privilege you have with an accessible permit is that you can park in a no parking zone, as long as you're not within 9 meters of an intersection.
And as long as you're not obstructing the flow of traffic,
Right.
and you do not have to pay for on-street metered parking, you're exempt from payment.
The only thing you have to give up is your ability to walk properly, or people see it as a benefit. And there's a lot of people who abuse it.
Oh yeah,
but
the
the
amount
truth
of people
is,
I see them downtown.
it really helps. It really helps the people who need it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it legal to drive around with my doors off my Jeep? You have a Jeep. It was designed to be operated without your doors. If you're in the province of Ontario, that is lawful. I've heard of other jurisdictions saying it's not. I've heard of people getting tickets for it. I don't understand why. The vehicle does not require doors, and there's nothing in the HTA that I'm aware of that says you must have doors on your vehicle. Of course, if your vehicle is designed to have doors, I would say that you'd probably need them. But I don't know that to be a fact. That's my understanding, my belief. Victor Young has a question for Erin. Would using an e-bike allow you to traverse your area more efficiently?
We talked about this
We did.
already, but
Well, would you be less tired?
I've been doing this job for 9 years. The on the road patrolling doesn't really affect me so much anymore. Your body gets used to that amount of riding every day. I will say on very hot days though, like when it's a heat wave like it was last week and it's pretty hot this week, yeah, it would be nice to have an e-bike to just,
I imagine on hills.
I was just going to say for hills and stuff when I'm very, very hot and sweaty with all my uniform on, it would be nice to just hit a throttle and just take me up the hill.
I have an e-bike, and there's a throttle to it, which I don't really use. I use the augmented feature, so just as I pedal, it's about 30% less energy required.
Yeah, that's like the e-bikes, like the bike share ones.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and you do feel it once you're going up a hill. You're like, wow, it's so less strenuous. Strenuous.
Less strenuous is good.
Yes.
We talked about this already, the drive around in question. We have Raghav Tandon, who says, good morning, TPS. Is there any volunteering opportunities available with you guys a day or two? I assume I mean a day or two a week as opposed to a day or two a year, because that would just not really be volunteering. If you look at our website, tps.ca/careers, there are auxiliary opportunities that come up, and there are adult volunteer opportunities, both of which allow you flexibility at how you want to, donate your time. I think auxiliary is the best volunteer opportunity there is. I was an auxiliary for 12 years. Even while I was a court officer, I still maintained my status as an auxiliary officer. I was a sergeant with the auxiliary. Such a great opportunity, such a great way to develop as an individual. You learn skills that if you're not in the customer service or frontline police officer kind of role, you're wearing a uniform, you're out in public, you're dealing with people. For a lot of people, that's the first time they're ever going to be confronted with confrontation. Really great opportunity. I would suggest looking into that next time there's a posting or read about it on the website. There is an auxiliary tab there. Check it out. Okay, what do we got? We got that's just a comment. We can move forward. Is it oh my gosh. Devo, I think it's Devo. We're going with Devo. Is it illegal to use the HOV lane to pass a slow car when the HOV is a dotted line? You're not allowed to enter the HOV lane unless you qualify to be in there. And yes, it would be illegal to use the HOV lane to pass because you're not allowed to enter it. So I get the dotted line allows you to cross the line, but you're not allowed to be in there. And I can't get over how many people I see in the HOV that are not legally allowed to be there. I had someone who passed me on the right. And
I see that all the time.
But I could clearly see in the vehicle that there was nobody else in the vehicle except the driver. And it was not an EV with a green plate. It was a piece of crap driven by a guy who was very similar to what his car was. And he was dangerous. I mean, he was zipping in and out of traffic. I don't think he cared what lane it was. It was just, clear line of sight. What are the regulations for lane splitting? Does it vary by area? Canada is the area that you're not allowed to lane split. It's pretty simple. There is no law called lane splitting law. There's no law permitting it. There's no law prohibiting it. However, the behavior is dangerous. In Ontario, it clearly identifies or is covered under the legislation and wording for careless driving, for stunt driving, and for criminal dangerous driving. And those are obviously going up in severity. What qualifies as, careless is probably simple and basic lane splitting, not super speed. You start adding some zipping between traffic, changing lanes, aggressive movement through traffic, a departure from what everybody else is doing, and that becomes stunt driving. So we'll then take your license for 30 days and your vehicle for 14. And if it then gets into just absolute insanity where you're going much too fast, it could enter the area of dangerous because you're putting lives at risk, not just your own. I have a great video that I've yet to stitch with, and it's of a rider going between vehicles so tightly that I'm surprised his head is still attached to his body. It's amazing. Some really great videos people are sending me, and that was one of them. So I look forward to making some content with that. Avandra has a question for you on the parking enforcement. Which one of the is the most common excuse drivers give you for parking illegally?
Well, the most common thing I would hear when someone returns back to their vehicle if I'm writing them a ticket, I'm leaving. I'm like, oh, you're leaving with a ticket. Here you go. If not that, it was, well, I was only 2 minutes or I'm not parked. And I'm like, well, what gear is the park in? It's usually one of those three. I was only 2 minutes, I'm leaving, or I didn't see the sign.
Oops.
Yeah.
I was I had an appointment on Wednesday. That's why I wasn't here. And I watched someone in front of the LCBO park behind the last spot, and they put their automatic no ticket button on. It's the hazards. I think people automatically truly believe that the hazards is on. It must mean that they can't be ticketed. I only wish I could write a ticket or that I had a book with me. I would have written. Well, they had to get their alcohol before the strike.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
I didn't stock up, so.
I don't drink, so it's easy for me. I was told it's okay to pass on a double yellow line, single lane, both directions, highway, true, false. Well, I'm glad you asked. Because the law, well, there isn't one in terms of crossing a single yellow or white line. They're not enforceable in the province of Ontario. However, they are enforceable in other provinces. We're the only one in Canada that does not have a specific charge for crossing a solid line. It may come, they're talking about it, but you are responsible for everything you do once you've crossed it. So while I can't charge you for crossing it, if you do something incredibly dangerous, like drive into oncoming traffic, and you cause a collision or not, we're going to charge you for that part of the activity. But the line itself, not against law. Yeah. Let's see here. MK says, hey, Sean, why do you guys bully tow trucks on MVC, motor vehicle collision scenes? I can't say that we do or we don't. I don't know that we're bullying anybody. I think we're enforcing the laws. There's new laws as of January 1st. There's a whole bunch of regulations, and I'm assuming that if you're getting bullied, that is code speak for people are enforcing the law in relation to tow trucks. Like, you're not allowed to be on a scene. There's a whole bunch of rules. Are you a tow truck operator? Like, you need to make yourself available with the new act. The SIA is a big deal, and it's not bullying if they're just enforcing the law. Bullying is again, people make it synonymous with, holding you accountable. But if you feel bullied, if you think that it's unreasonable what's going on, put a complaint in. Like, if it's really not appropriate behavior, then you're eligible to complain and take it to the appropriate channels, because no one should be truly bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My car sticker expired in 2022. I'm confused by these. Do I need to renew? Chris, I really hope you renewed. If you did not renew, you would not, or if you did renew, you would have not received a new sticker, but you are obligated to renew. Now, my suggestion is go to like don't even wait. Like, leave the live stream now. Go to TrafficCop.ca. At the bottom of TrafficCop.ca, you will see a magical section. Let me put it on screen for you. Badoo, badoo, badoo. Badoo, badoo. It's my new sound. Badoo, 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 badoo. Okay. And will it work? Will it split? No, it didn't split the way I want it to split. Let's split it the way I want to split it. Here we go. So at the bottom of this, you can also listen to the remix of the rock and roll version of the traffic song. But at the very bottom, there is renew, renew, renew. Where is it? Set reminders. Here we go. Renew your license plate. Go do this. Because if you are expired, it's not going to renew automatically. You're going to have to do this. You're also driving likely with a invalid plate, which means you're eligible for a ticket of $110 at the least. Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, lots of useful links there, stuff that I put up and try and maintain to make your life better. All right. What is this? Hey, another license plate stickers and renewals question. In regards to license stickers and renewals, I've recently heard if your vehicle is more than 30 years old, historic, it doesn't renew automatically. Really? I've not read that, Jeff, but I'm going to now because I have to make a training video based on the new information that's been coming down from the MTO. So I can't confirm or deny that, but if you've heard that, it might be true. Either way, go to check the status on TrafficCop.ca. You can punch in your license plate and find out. Now I want to know, what do you have? What kind of car? Is it a classic? I mean, by 30 years, it's a classic, but is it a classic or is it just a car that's really old? I want to know. I like cars. What is this one? Is it bad to blow twice on the breathalyzer or just stick with one?
Can I get a redo? Is that what you mean?
I want a do-over. So there's the roadside screening device, which is not a breathalyzer per se. It is a roadside screening device. And then when you go to the police station, if you failed on the roadside screening device, you're then required by law to provide 2 samples of your breath. So the answer is you got to provide 2 samples of your breath. You're probably I bet. What are the odds? You might be a breath technician, just setting me up for the fall. No, I don't know. But yeah, no. Saying I'm doing one and only one, you'd be refusing on your second. Upon refusing your second, you'd be eligible for charges for refuse. So yeah, no. Comply with the demands of the police officer. What is this? We talked about this already. The Grinch wants to know what the process of becoming a parking attendant is. What kind of hours do you work? How often do you get yelled at? I think parking attendant like Officer Hobbs from Zootopia.
Have you seen that movie, Zootopia?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's a guy on TikTok that I don't know how I found his channel. He was in my feed, and he's in love with Officer Hobbs, like Officer Hobbs fan, and his entire account is parody about his weird love of this bunny.
Oh, cool.
It's actually very funny. He's got millions, I think, millions of views for sure.
Oh, wow. Well, the process of becoming...
It's not an attendant. It's
I was
parking
say,
enforcement.
I'm parking officer. People are all, like, I get trolled in my comments all the time, like, oh, officer, you're not an officer. I'm like, it's literally, it says it on my shoulder, okay?
Hey, it says it on your shoulder.
Yeah, parking enforcement officer. Anyways, we've talked about this before. I'm not going to, I could sit here and explain this all to you, but all of the information that you are looking for is on the tps.ca/careers website. How often do I get yelled at? Depends.
Who would yell at her? Come on.
There's some days I go out and I don't get yelled at once. And there's some days I go out and it's every other car that I ticket or every other, a car. The other day I was out on the road and it was like I got out there and the first couple cars that I found illegally parked, unoccupied, the moment I got off my bike, someone's like, I'm here. And I hadn't started writing the ticket yet. So I'm just like, get out of here, skedaddle.
You said it like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I actually do. You can be playful with some people, if you can gauge it properly and,
know your audience.
Exactly. So it depends also the kind of enforcement officer you are. If you like to get into confrontation, you'll probably get yelled at a lot more.
Yeah.
Me personally, I like to de-escalate and get out of there. So again, it all depends. It depends on the person, depends on the situation. It's all about situational awareness as well.
Hey, officers, can a motorcycle park on the road like residential roads without a permit, or would you have to get a street permit, example, residential permit, to park on that road?
This is a great
It is. I
question.
don't think we ever talked about
Yeah,
this.
so this is actually, so yes, you do need to get an actual residential permit. You are not exempt from the permit parking on a residential street.
Where would one display such a?
So that's also a good question because I remember this when I was new in my training and I was actually working on compressed. So we were, starting really early mornings where the permits were still in effect. And the permits, a lot of people would actually just put them like, hang them like where their license plate is, or somewhere at the front, even on like the front windshield screen that they have. If they like, or whatever you call that, I guess it's the wind protector.
The windshield?
Windshield on a motorcycle. Yeah, so they'll stick it there somewhere visible where an officer can find it.
But what about people stealing them? Is that what happens then? Because that's the reason they made free green pea on the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never come across someone who's reported a permit being stolen on a motorcycle, but I'm sure it's probably happened. Everything's possible. But yes, get your permit.
That you've heard it here, folks. Can I join York Regional Police or York Region Fire if I wear glasses? Well, I can tell you that York Regional Police will hire you because glasses is not a reason not to hire somebody. I don't know about fire. I would assume if you meet the minimum vision requirements, this is where, Sarah, I'd suggest going to their website. YRP.ca. I don't know what the fire department's website is. It may be YRF, but I doubt it. Just putting it out there. What do we got here? Logic 101 wants to know if I can explain the diamond lanes to someone told me I can drive solo on the weekends and at night. What is the right conditions? So diamond lanes in the city are multi-purpose lanes. Like they're sometimes bus, they're combination multi-passenger motorcycle, and they have signs often telling you when they're in effect or not. Read the signs, because every street is different. Some of them are every day, some of them are certain times, some of them have accept motorcycles, some of them don't. The sign is king in that situation. If you're talking about the HOV lanes, also designated by a diamond on 400 series highways, those have very specific requirements. They don't change weekends and holidays and so on. So there you have it. I hope that helps. If it didn't help, I can't help you. Let's see here. I got a ticket for parking in front of my house, residential. The ticket says I exceeded 3 hours.
Okay, so yep. If you don't have any other parking stipulations on your street, the city bylaw is can't park more than 3 hours on any city street. So that is also enforced upon complaint, meaning someone on your street or someone has called and complained about cars being parked longer than 3 hours. So that's citywide.
Yeah, anywhere you park over 3 hours, you could be eligible, or you're eligible for the ticket.
Yeah.
Whether you're caught or not is different, and it doesn't matter if it's your house that you're in front of or not. That's where you get permits usually, right? Permits to allow you to park beyond that.
Yes, if they're an actual permit street, but if exceeded 3 hours. Yeah, I would have to know the signage that's on your street, but usually in this case, it's like a lot of streets in Scarborough they'll be like that, because they're not permit streets; they're just residential, regular streets.
And what about and it probably wouldn't apply here, but asking for what is it called where you've got someone staying over, let's say, and you've only got for special. Consideration?
Temporary permits?
Maybe. I don't know. You're the
parking consideration?
I think it's called consideration.
Yeah. So you can always call and request parking consideration.
There's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's going on
It's catching up. I mean, it's been in the background.
I was
so
like,
the buffers,
is it like saving and just like...
It's catching up.
Okay.
Oh, this is a good question. Let's see here. Okay, this is a good one. It's a bicycle question, so I'll let you read and see if I can find this person.
Is it legal to ride a bicycle on the Don Valley Parkway? Because I have seen 5 or 6 bikes this week. My goodness.
I saw one as I was getting onto the Gardner Expressway yesterday. A guy on a mountain bike was getting off of the Gardner Expressway up the on-ramp. No, it's not
Goodness
legal.
me.
It's not legal. It's not legal. E-bike or pedal, it's not legal. It's a controlled access highway. All highways, all roads in the province are called highways, whether it's a residential road or a expressway. The difference is the expressway, like the Don Valley Parkway, is a controlled access highway. In other words, there's conditions as to what can go on it, and bicycles and pedestrians are not permitted. But what a great question.
5 or 6, though? My goodness.
Well, I was shocked to see one. Never mind. I mean, 5 or 6 is wild. But I see a lot of people that are following GPSs as I'm reading things here. They're following GPS, and
like
they
if
just
they're like e-bikes, like
delivery
food
people.
delivery.
Yeah, and they're just following the line. Oh, the road goes here. We're on the highway. We go.
Facepalm.
Yeah.
Does Erin do ride-alongs? I have
For media.
For media, you have to go through the hoops of requesting one, but it's
The hula hoops.
The hula hoops. But for like regular civilians to just come along for a ride along with me, no.
Although that could be
not.
cool. Maybe they do that as a at the Chiefs Gala fundraiser. Go write tickets.
Yeah.
Get your thrill on. Let's see here. I got a ticket. No, we talked about this one. This is the one we just did. What can I do if I witness a dangerous driver on the road or highway? Thank you for your service. Well, obviously, Greg, you're very welcome. Both of us do what we do because we love to do it. What can I do if you witness a dangerous driver? What is dangerous to you? Like bad driver or someone who's putting lives at risk in that moment? Because that would be an emergency. There's bad driving, and then there's someone who's going to cause a collision immediately. They're all over the road. They're potentially impaired. They're doing something that is just over the top. That's a 911 call. If it's just a bad driver, it's a report online afterwards. Now, if you're on the highway, that's an OPP call or an OP. I don't even know if OPP does a website for submission, but Toronto Police and York Regional Police have online forms to complain about drivers or neighborhood issues dealing with driving. Could you imagine? I call the police when I'm driving home and I come across someone who is truly putting lives at risk or possibly drunk.
Yep. I've never had to call in a drunk driver before, but
I keep finding them when I come into work at 5 a.m. and they just be asleep at the wheel at an intersection. You go up, you start tapping the window, and they're just gone. Jeez. Gone. What is the status of lowering speeds in neighborhoods? That's Tim Anderson who wants to know. The status, like we should lower more. Essentially in the city of Toronto, being that we're a Vision Zero city and that we're really trying to keep it safe for everybody, we've been lowering speed limits all over the place. 60s became 50s, 50s, 40s, 40s, 30s. I don't know of any 20s yet, but who knows what the future holds. Those are being reduced to increase the odds of pedestrian survival in the event of a collision. Sadly, many people are not abiding by them, and they're getting caught most often by digital automated enforcement. But any way you cut it, it is reducing speeds, the automated enforcement. And I don't know if there's more going to happen, or I don't know the status. It's very much a City of Toronto thing, not a Toronto Police thing, but it is interesting. Hayden says, "G'day, how's it going? Are you from Australia with the g'day, or are you just like g'day?" Because I've been down under, and I quite like it. Apparently TikTok comments are out of commission, which is, I wonder what time was the last TikTok comment, moderator? Can you see? Because maybe it's a hint that we should stop talking and wrap up the show. Maybe it's not. I'm not going to suggest. How are you doing for time?
I'm good.
You're good? We'll take it to 11:30. I think that would be easy peasy. What am I doing here? Chat restream. Let me see if I can CPR this back to life. Turn off the relay mode. Sometimes that kicks it back into shape. Let me know if you start getting the comments, because they're definitely coming. Aree's TikTok wants to know how many vehicles on average you pull over on a day. For me, I can honestly say 0. I don't pull people over.
Me also 0.
Erin also 0.
I do not pull people over. However, when I'm doing a hand signal on my bike, people sometimes think I'm like waving at them or pulling them over. And I'm like, I'm turning right. Like, no, not doing that. But yeah.
I used to pull over a lot of people because I was a traffic officer doing traffic enforcement. I was a motor squad officer in every capacity in the last 10 years, or while I was on the road. Even before I got the traffic, I pulled over a lot of vehicles because everything I see, I stop and issue tickets for. Jeff, when I asked earlier about classic cars, 30 years old and older,
Yes, I
he
remember
says he got a
that.
1921 Model T Ford and a 73 Lincoln Continental. Both of those are awesome. Thank you. You know what? I don't think that people who have classic cars get the thanks they deserve for preserving history. It really is a passion that people have, and you're doing something that's magical because I feel a rush of excitement whenever I see a classic car on the road. I just love the living history, the running history. It's not living; it's alive. It's moving. I like it. I like it a lot. Evandro giving feedback on the auxiliary program. He says, auxiliary, in my opinion, is the best opportunity for you learning everything you need before you become a first responder, officer, parking enforcement, prisoner escort, special constable, or any career in police. I think that's a fair thing, but you don't have to become an auxiliary to become a paid member. I have many friends who are auxiliary officers and have been auxiliary officers as their hobby. They're successful in business and life, and they just want to give back, and they have fun as an auxiliary officer. It's their way of giving back, and they get to experience their city in a unique way. It's really cool.
Awesome.
But 30 years, they get it. They get medals for service. They retire as auxiliary officers, and that's really cool. If I leave the police service, I wonder if I'd ever come back as an auxiliary. Like if I retire, or join up again as an auxiliary, maybe. We talked this already.
Yes.
Uber Eats drivers. Where can I park? And I'm parked in Green P, although I put a sign.
Okay, this is another circumstance where I would have to see exactly where you were parked, like were you in a green P on the street or a green P parking lot? Because a green P parking lot, you still got to pay for parking. Green P on the street, you only get about 10 minutes. So if you were longer than 10 minutes, again, I would have to see why you got the ticket, how long you were parked there, so on and so forth. But you can always contest it. Fight the ticket online if you feel like you weren't deserving of the ticket.
Well, that's the whole thing. If you think you've got a defense, but are you allowed to park in a green P with a sign that says on delivery? I don't think you get any preferential treatment for being a delivery guy.
On the street, you should get 10 minutes.
But that's on delivery. But I mean
yes.
in a green P, specifically on the green. Yeah.
Yes.
What is this? What is Oh, Buck likes the vehicles, or Buck just says this is lit. Let's see here.
Lit. It's lit for Friday.
Oh, and Buck would like to know who the model is. That's not me.
The model.
Yes, Buck.
No model in here. We talking about Buddy?
Buddy's the model.
He's the model.
Oh, what do you do if someone parks on the sidewalk and the wrong direction?
I would ticket them for parking on the sidewalk because that is the higher fine.
Oh, but there's a charge for wrong direction as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's only like $30, I believe, unless that's been raised.
See, give them the good one. Now, just parking on the wrong side of the road, contraflow, is an offense as well.
Yes, unless you have an accessible permit.
Yeah.
Because people with an accessible permit, they might be on the passenger side, need the curb to get out of the car, so on and so forth. Anyways, continuing. Oh, there's Emma. Hey. I haven't seen her name in a while.
Emma was here before you walked in the room.
Oh, I haven't seen her name on the screen yet. So, hey, girl.
Yes. What is it? Oh, are electric bikes allowed on recreational trail park paths? Interesting question.
Can you answer this? I would love to hear it.
So, my understanding, and you can go to the link that is defines the rules for City of Toronto, and it's going to be municipal based. It's different in every municipality. The rule is if it's a pedelec. Actually, I can just pull this up. Why don't we pull this up? I'll show you from the source. Of course, I need to put the source on the screen first. Let's see here. We'll do the ASKaTrafficCop.ca, and then I'll go to the link. It creates a new window. Otherwise, I would just have you do this with me. Cycling and the law. Okay. I'll put this on screen now. Screen share. So when you go to the link for cycling and the law, you go to the City of Toronto site, and is it here? Maybe it's here. Where can I ride in the city of Toronto? So, bicycle can ride everywhere but sidewalks. E-bikes requiring pedaling. They have to be under 40 kilos and they're pedelecs. Those can be on multi-use paths. E-bikes requiring pedaling, but they are over 40 kilos. These are the cargo bikes. They cannot be on the path. Power-assisted e-bikes, these are the ones with a throttle. They cannot be on the path. Motorcycle, mopeds, motor scooters, these are the ones that do not resemble bicycles, have throttles, are not pedelec only, that are over 40 kilos. Like, they cannot. So the answer is the ones that require pedaling, not throttle units, those can be on the bicycle path. It is interesting because you start getting into these ones like motorcycle, moped scooters, they can't be on cycle tracks. They can only be on the roadway. I'm really moving this way too fast. These cannot be in a bicycle lane. These cannot be. I don't think that picture is accurate, by the way. Let me make this a little bigger. So I think that is the same as that. I think those are the same. Motorcycle, mopeds, motor scooters. Like, that's an e-bike. It's got pedals.
Yeah.
What makes that different than that?
That pink one almost looks like a Vespa or something, though.
But
because it might, I don't know.
You think it's a gas? I think that motorcycle.
Maybe.
So that's
moped. That's considered a moped, or is that a motor scooter?
That
looks like a scooter. It looks like it has 3 wheels.
I don't know if they know.
I don't know.
But that is there are, like, to me, that's a motorcycle style, moped style e-bike.
Yeah.
They should really clarify. In any case, they're not permitted on bike lanes except for pedelecs, which is what I was going for. And thank you for the City of Toronto for providing that magical website so that I could, in fact, share it and share it with you. Let's see here. When you pull over and ticket someone without an injured party, then you are a criminal. Troy Boss is not, well, let's see here. That's suggesting that if you pull someone over for speeding, for using their cell phone, for reckless driving, and nobody died, then the police are the criminal. Troy boy, you are displaying the intellect on your sleeve. It's low. Thank you for coming out. What are your thoughts on dirt bikes on the road? Dirt bikes on the road are not legal. Now, we're not talking about BMX dirt bikes, pedal bikes. You're talking about an off-road motorcycle being used on the roadway. They're not legal. You cannot, unless it's meeting the requirements of a street legal vehicle, if it's plated and insured as such, that's different, but that's not the case in most cases. And that's my thoughts. If you're on the road, I'm going to ticket you and charge you for everything under the sun, if I was on the road. What happens if my speed camera offense notice lists the wrong speed and the fine is wrong? You have to take it up with the courts, with the system. It's not me. The Toronto Police are not involved with automated camera offense tickets. If you think you should have a higher offense, you can always ask them to raise it. You need to take it up with them. Obviously, how would you know it's incorrect? Like, are you saying you don't believe you were going that speed? That is for you to take up in your defense. If you're saying you were only doing 20 over, but it flagged you as doing 30, I got news for you. You're still speeding, and that is not a defense. Unless you are saying that you are not going above the posted speed limit, you are guilty. Imported a vintage Jeep manufactured in India without doors and seatbelts. What's the rules for that? Depends on when it was manufactured. If it was manufactured, you said vintage, but if it was manufactured after seatbelts became law in Canada, it would require seatbelts in Canada. I think it's 73 or 74. Anything manufactured afterwards requires them, so you may have difficulty importing them legally. If it's truly vintage, it's a Jeep that is predating our laws, it would be grandfathered from my understanding. Like if you have a 1960 Jeep, it probably has it doesn't have the same emissions requirements, nor does it have the same seatbelt requirements. Like it has no seatbelt requirements. What do we have here? How hard is the OACP test, or is it common knowledge? It is very basic. Do you have to do it for parking?
No, it was after my time, so I was grandfathered in. Speaking of being grandfathered in.
There you go. So I think grade 7, 8 math is basically the math. It's not there to challenge you. It's not algebra or quantum physics. It's about getting you to do basic math, spelling, writing, uh, to be able to say that we've measured your baseline. Now it's about measuring your ability to manage your time, because it's a time test beyond everything else. You may be able to work through any question, but if it takes you an hour to do it, you're going to fail. So it's about speed and accuracy. It's like IPSC. For anyone who knows what IPSC is, it's awesome. Just saying. What do we got here? If I went to the pub and had 1,000,000 beers, can I still drive?
I think you'd be in the hospital there, but
You might be dead. Or very, very swooshy.
yeah, a
A
million.
million.
I don't know. I think you would have been.
I'm going to say you can't drive.
Yeah.
Just to be safe, just to make sure that I'm giving you a definitive no, you cannot drive. Can I put mirrors on the side of my car? Did your car not come with mirrors on the side of your car? I would think it would have mirrors. What kind of mirrors are we talking about? Do you mean like facing outward so that people would see themselves on the side of your car? Please explain. Michael said, Erin said, drivers stop when she signals turns. Years ago, I biked with black shorts and yellow shirt. I signaled left turn. An oncoming car was stopped for no reason in the way of the turn.
I get that a lot too, where I'm like waiting to turn left on, a live lane of traffic, and cars going the other direction will like stop for me, and I'm like, I appreciate the gesture, but I'm like, I'm following the rules of the road. Like I don't know. It annoys me, but I also appreciate it at the same time, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just like, I know how to ride in traffic.
Do we have to pull over for emergency vehicles if they're on the other side of the meridian? That's possibly very far away. So if you, I'm sure you meant median. If you're dealing with a divided highway, so that is where there is a grassy, a culvert or a structure, a fencing, something dividing either side of direction of travel, then no, you don't pull over for oncoming traffic on the other side. You cannot. You have to pull over for emergency vehicles on the same side of a divided highway. But if the only thing dividing the highway is a painted surface, then you have to pull over in either direction. And think about this: if the vehicle that is coming through with its lights and sirens on could cross into your side of traffic to get through traffic, that's why you're pulling over, because they may have to go into left of center, coming into oncoming traffic to get where they're going. Well, if they can't do that because of the barrier that's dividing them, then you're not subject to that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. What do we have here? How long do you have to report an accident? Well, we don't report accidents. We report collisions. And the answer is we'd like you to report them within 24 hours, usually. But sometimes it's a big snowstorm, and you coming to report the collision might cause you to be in another collision. So safety first. We understand that if it's a major snowstorm, something going on, it might take a couple of days. It might be that you've been to the hospital. Maybe you were injured after and didn't realize it. We don't turn you away after 72 hours. That doesn't happen, but it should be sooner rather than later. Does EV require front number plate, or can I remove it? I don't know why people ask this question or want to remove their front plate. However, you are required, if you're registered in the province of Ontario, to have all of your number plates. That's both of them, front and back. You are required by law, and having an electric vehicle does not preclude you from that law. The issue is, and I've talked about this before, is Tesla does a really poor job with front license plates because most jurisdictions don't need them, but we do. So what did they do? They gave you some two-sided tape and a plastic mounting system and said, stick it here.
Oh, geez.
And that tends to fail. There are hardcore metal bracket mounted license plate aftermarket frames available. Either invest in that or a tow hook adapter, but do something or make sure that your sticky one is on a clean surface when you install it. But you must, absolutely must, have a front plate. In Ontario, it's a $110 fine if you don't. And if you keep getting that ticket because you decide that $110 isn't a big deal, just know that that can go up to $500 in court. We can escalate that to force you to go to court to deal with it. Oh, and we're going to end on this question before we read dad jokes because I love dash cams in this conversation. So obviously, what's my opinion on dash cams? I love them because they are an independent record of what actually happened. You may think you did the best that you could, and maybe you thought you were in the right, and maybe you're wrong. So it may not be good for you if you suck as a driver. It really is good if you are in the right. And so there's your pros and your cons. It helps you if you're in the right. It hurts you if you're in the wrong. But it does tell a true and complete story. Now, I like having a front and rear camera because I want to know what's happening. My original dash cam failed. I bought a new one. I got hit in the back on the DVP on the way home by a taxi cab driver before installing it. I then said, I'm never going anywhere without it. A year, just shy of a year later, it was over a year later, but I had installed it less than a year, and it failed again. The new $500 dash cam failed.
Yeah.
So now I'm without a dash cam because I can't bring myself to spend $500 again.
That's crazy.
Because now I'm like $1,000 of dash cameras.
Yeah.
And I'm told that they will replace it for 50% off if I send them my broken one. But they wanted me to test it. They said, well, it was out of the warranty by a month. By a month. Yeah. Planned obsolescence. Do you think that's a thing? In any case, I'm a big fan. I think they're fantastic. I also think that they're great for creating content. I have Wi-Fi, at least the one that I had when it was working, had Wi-Fi, so I would create a lot of content and share it here. And I'm constantly getting content being shared to me, videos of dodos in Toronto, really, really bad drivers in Toronto, and people are taking great video and sharing it with us. Sometimes we solve crimes because of dash cams. So, I can't say enough good things. I think every car should have them. I think they should be part of the hardware. I think Tesla is doing, they do the plates really badly, but they do onboard camera systems really, really, really well. And I think every car should have 360 cameras.
Yeah, I agree.
So there you go. It's dad joke time. I'll let you control the buttons. That is the drums and cymbals. That's the womp, womp, womp button.
Okay.
I'll let you judge it.
I'm ready.
You're ready? You got your fingers at the ready. Yesterday, I ate a clock. It was very time consuming, especially when I went back for seconds. It's not bad. I didn't necessarily tell it with the best comedic timing, but it wasn't bad. What do you call a werewolf in plain sight? This is good. A werewolf. I like that one. And these are Achilles. He's knocking them out of the park today. What is an SW dad joke? Or is it just a typo dad joke? Oh, Star Wars dad joke. Okay. How many rebels does it take to transmit stolen Death Star plans? 1 and/or 2.
I only do that because I'm not a big Star Wars girl.
But that was actually, it's not bad. I thought it was.
Don't take
funny.
it personally.
Yeah.
with my judgment.
Oh, a Charles Dickens quote from Great Expectations. We need never be ashamed of our tears. I actually like that. That's not bad.
Is there like a clapping button?
It's a Star Wars response.
Yeah, should have used that one.
Yeah. I would have been the response for a Star Wars dad joke. Michael Harling shared a Rodney Dangerfield. I also have the Grinch, which I put on screen and then took away. We'll put it back in a second. So Rodney Dangerfield joke. He says, I signed a new 2-year deal with GM. I bought a new car. As an actor comedian, I that's actually kind of funny. Mind you, now isn't it like an 8-year deal and you really get hosed? Things are very expensive. Things are very, very expensive. I see it. Kale's mention of a Roger WebEx. Yes, cool. Thanks for sharing that. The Grinch dad joke. Why do dads feel the need to tell such bad jokes? They just want to help you become a grown up. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I accept it. I accept it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just scrolling here to see if there's anything here. I think we're good. I think we did a good job. I think we got it all covered. Just a reminder that we do upload this, and I will be uploading this basically right after the show to your favorite podcasting app. It's a thing right there. Podcast. Come on. There we go. Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, the whole business. It's all there. And for you to enjoy, to be able to take this on the road and listen whenever you like. Where can people follow you?
They can follow me on X, aka the old Twitter, with TPS_Bikeheart. My handle is the same across all my socials. Same with TikTok, TPS_Bikeheart, and Instagram, as you like to call it. Instagram, also TPS_Bikeheart.
Hey, I found your tag. It's right there under me. There's no way for me to put it on the other side, so it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're watching, follow Erin, follow us, share us. The biggest compliment you can give is sharing our content with others. Help share good information. Our goal is to be helpful and informative. That's our thing. We want to make sure you don't get tickets. That's sort of the thing. So if you're going to be out and about, what is this? What happens if you get pulled over with your primt? With your primt.
Do they mean tint?
I don't know what they mean.
I don't know either.
But they were just wondering. But I don't know. I just got my primt.
What?
I don't.
Permit? Permit?
I don't know what they mean.
I don't know either.
But they're really doubling down on primt. Is this a new word? Am I going to go Urban Dictionary this? And this?
Something new every day.
Hey, listen,
slang.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're done. Oh, Linda says, hi, two sweet heroes. Just saying hi and thank you. Love you all. Linda is possibly the biggest supporter of law enforcement that jumps on the show because they share all the love.
I think they mean
license.
I think they're from not here.
Why do you say that?
Because the next comment, UE, like what?
He said, "Yeah, I'm bad at text." Okay, so you got a learner's permit. Oh, permit. I can see that. Hey, look at that. They got permit. There we go.
Okay.
So you got a learner's permit, like a G1. We're talking about because it says here. I don't know what the UE is, but
learner permit, isn't that American?
No, learner's permit is what a G1 license is. You need to be supervised by a qualified driver. So
if you got pulled over, but for what?
I think you mean like if you're driving by yourself with a G1. So you've applied, you got a G1. It's a learner's permit. Oh,
they're from New Brunswick. Oh, so
St. John, New Brunswick, New Brick. Okay. So the deal is that, what's this? That's an automated message. So I don't know what the rules are in St. John, but I'm going to assume they're similar to that of a G1 driver here. And that means you need to be supervised by a qualified driver with 4 years experience. And if you are doing it without, well, that's a problem. We would charge you for G1 unaccompanied, $110 ticket, 30-day suspension. First offense. Second offense would be a 90-day suspension. Third time you get kicked out of the learning graduated licensing process. So, yeah, that's the thing. Thank you for the reminder from Dre Studios. Will I see you next week at Mosport or the week after at Indy? Actually, probably both. My friend whose team is racing on Saturday and Sunday at different times, I'm going to try and come out to the track to see him at Mosport, and I'm definitely going to be at Honda Indy for the entire weekend. So we'll definitely see you on one, if not both of those weekends. And for anyone watching, Honda Dealers Indy, they changed the name, is July 19th to 21st. It's happening at the X. And of course, we will be there in Thunder Alley. So come on down. Hey, you going to work? You going to come and work the event?
I will be not there.
You will be not there.
So I will not be there. I'm on vacation that weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
Be like that. Fine. See if we care.
Sorry.
The deal is we will be there, but not Erin. And we will be talking about stuff and things. And we'll be with the booth, and we'll have some cars. We have a very special guest at the booth.
Ooh.
Someone who hasn't seen, well, we've never had this particular person trailered to the booth before.
You'll have to give me the secret after we go off camera. Oh.
Anyway, Dre says, come check out the new GT4 Porsche next weekend at IMSA. No kidding. Okay, very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing your new Porsche. Very cool. All right. What was I trying to do before I swirled and started blinking?
Oh, I just got the reference. I'm an idiot. Slow moving this morning. It's okay.
I will play this video because I like this video. And to everyone, please drive safely, drive sober, park legally, and have a lot of fun. I won't be here for a week, which means I won't see you, but I will try and put out some podcasts for you. Have a great day. Have a great week. And we'll see you when I'm back. And then come see me at Honda Indy. Fan Friday, the 19th is free.
Oh, fun.
Fun. You're going to be on vacation.
Well, maybe I'll come by on the Friday.
When it's free.
Yeah.
Okay. See you later, everybody.
Have a good weekend.
Your future career starts with a vision. A vision of opportunities ahead, where you can see a path to a noble career, serving the city of Toronto. Where do you see yourself? Toronto Police Service. Apply today.